Welcome to today's video. This is a B1 level business English lesson, and today we're going to be talking about remote work and using relative clauses to describe that remote work. So have you ever worked at home? How do you stay productive when you work at home? What are the pros and cons of working at home? And how common is it to work from home in your country? You can answer those questions in the comments. So what jobs can be done remotely? Can your job be done remotely? Why or why not? Here it looks like we have a doctor. Well, there are teledoc where people can connect remotely. Usually the doctor is not at home, but there are like telephone consultations that doctors can do. This looks like maybe picture B, perhaps a psychologist. That probably could be done remotely. Teachers, obviously, remotely. Firefighters, probably not. You would have to be where the fire is in order to be a firefighter. This person looks like he's some sort of computer programmer or software engineer. That could definitely be done remotely. And teaching yoga probably also could be done remotely through Zoom, something like that. All right, so now match each vocabulary word to its definition. You can pause the video, try this on your own, and then restart when you're ready to check your answers. So able to produce a large amount of work, that would be number 7, productive. A change in position or direction would be number 5, a shift. A mix of two different things is number 4, hybrid. Able to be easily changed to adjust to a new situation is number 1, flexible. Located far away would be remote, it's number 2. Physically present in the same location as someone else, it's number 6, in person. And to work from home is number 3, telecommute. So now read the beginning of an article about the shift to remote work, and then you complete the article with the missing words. You can pause the video, try this on your own, and then restart when you're ready to check your answers. The shift to remote work. In 2020, at the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, many businesses all over the world required or encouraged all their employees to switch to online working. The quick shift to working from home taught companies that being at the office isn't necessary to produce great results. In fact, research shows that on average, remote workers are even more productive than workers that work from an office. Now continue reading their article and then answer the questions. Again, you can pause the video and read on your own, or you can follow along as I read. As a result, some companies are now completely remote. These organizations whose employees work from home are becoming more common. Organizations that spend lots of money on office space in the past have decided to get rid of their office spaces completely, or to decrease the size of their office for hybrid teams. Some companies are considering hybrid models, which have specific days when employees have in-person meetings and other days when employees can work from home. Also, remote work has changed what employers expect from their employees. Now, many companies pay more attention to the work that is completed instead of the number of hours that employees worked. This change gives employees a more flexible schedule, which allows them to choose the hours that they work as long as they complete the work that they need to do. The COVID-19 pandemic has shown that people can work from home and do it well. It is estimated that by 2025, 70% of employees will be working remotely at least one day a week. So what is the meaning to get rid of? It just means to no longer have that thing anymore, to dispose of it, or to um, discontinue it. How has remote working changed the expectations of managers? Well, now managers concentrate on the amount of work completed rather than the number of hours worked. And what does the article predict about the future of remote work? Well, that more and more people will be working remotely at least 1 day a week. We use relative clauses to give more information about a noun. Now, many companies pay more attention to the work that is completed instead of the number of hours that employees worked. A relative clause begins with a relative pronoun, such as that, which, who, whom, or whose, or a relative adverb, when, where, why, and modifies a noun or noun phrase. Some companies have specific days when employees have in-person meetings and other days when employees can work from home. So now combine the two sentences to make one sentence with a relative clause. You can pause the video, try this on your own, and then restart when you're ready to check your answers. So I work for a company that allows me to work from home. Remote work became popular during the COVID pandemic when people were required to stay home. He works from Thailand where there are many remote workers. And my boss, who was opposed to working from home, now works from home every day. Or my boss, who now works from home every day, was opposed to working from home. Non-defining and defining relative clauses. In English, we use both defining and non-defining relative clauses. In a defining relative clause, the information is important to understand the sentence. Do you know the man who works from Thailand? If we remove the relative clause, the sentence doesn't make sense or it has a different meaning. So if you took away who works from Thailand, do you know the man? It would kind of be incomplete. Well, which man? Which man are you talking about? The man who works from Thailand, you need that information. In a non-defining relative clause, extra information is given, it can be removed, and the sentence is still logical. He works from home, which is convenient because he has young children. So the which is convenient because he has young children. We don't need that information to understand the sentence. He works from home is a complete thought. The being convenient because he has young children is just extra information. And note that in writing, we use a comma at the beginning and the end of a non-defining relative clause. Now complete the paragraph with the missing relative pronoun and clause, and then listen to see if you were correct.
I'm the type of person who likes to spend time alone, but sometimes I get lonely as a remote worker. So, 1 or 2 days each week, I bring my laptop to a coffee shop and work from there. It's perfect for me. But if you are the type of person who really likes to talk with people, a co working space might be a better fit.
Now, where, and when are relative adverbs. Where is used in relative clauses to give more information about a place, and when is used to give more information about a time. Where and when are followed directly by a noun or a pronoun. So notice the noun following the relative adverb. This is the room where I do most of my work. It is the room that is the most comfortable. So notice in the second one that the relative pronoun doesn't need to be followed by a noun. Now complete the sentences with where, when, who, or that. Again, you can pause the video, try these on your own, and then restart when you're ready to check your answers. Many workers would prefer a job but that doesn't require them to go into an office. Employees who work from home can save time that they no longer need to spend commuting. I am most productive when I work from my office, where I have less distractions, and the morning is the time when I am the most productive. Now, listen to more advice about working from home. Before you listen, complete the sentences with where or that, and remember that where needs to be followed by a noun or pronoun, and then you can listen to check your answers.
My advice is to try to create some space between the places where you work and the places where you relax. Don't work from your bed. Your bed should be a place where you can relax. The best place to work is a place that is bright and comfortable, and a place where you don't usually spend all of your time relaxing, even if it's just the other side of the couch. My advice is to try to create some space between the places where you work and the places where you relax. Don't work from your bed. Your bed should be a place where you can relax. The best place to work is a place that is bright and comfortable, and a place where you don't usually spend all of your time relaxing, even if it's just the other side of the couch.
And we can use whose to replace possessive adjectives such as my or his. I met a man. His company allows him to choose if he wants to work from home. I met a man whose company allows him to choose if he wants to work from home. So notice how whose replaces the possessive adjective his. Now create some sentences using whose. Again, you can pause the video, try these on your own, and then restart when you're ready to check your answers. I manage a marketing team whose members live in all different time zones. She found a therapist whose appointments were all virtual. I work with a woman whose baby is at home with her while she works. And I have a great manager whose philosophy is that as long as we get our work done, we can work from wherever we want. Now listen to the tip from another employee and then answer the questions.
I suggest talking to your manager about the expectations that they have for you when you're working remotely. When I started working from home, it seemed like my manager expected me to work more. He would send me messages all day, every day. I had to speak with him and let him know that although I was home, I wasn't always available.
So what does the speaker recommend? She recommends speaking to your manager about their expectations when you're working from home and what happened when the speaker when she started working from home for the first time. She said her manager kind of expected her to work all the time. He was sending her messages all day, every day. Now listen to the final tip from another employee and complete the text with the missing words or phrases.
Networking is so much harder for remote workers. It's important, though, so you should still try to do it. If you live in or near a big city, there are probably groups that you can join for professionals in your field. But if you're not near any of these groups, there are other ways that you can stay connected online.
Now read another tip about working from home, complete with who, whose, when, where, or that, then answer the question. So I'm glad I'm not one of the people whose job requires them to go to an office, but it is helpful for me to pretend like I'm going to an office. I set my alarm to wake up at 7 a.m., take a shower, have breakfast, do my hair and makeup, and get dressed. I do much less work on days when I keep my pajamas on all day.
I'm glad I'm not one of those people whose job requires them to go to an office, but it is helpful for me to pretend like I'm going to an office. I set my alarm to wake up at 7 a.m., take a shower, have breakfast, do my hair and makeup, and get dressed. I do much less work on the days when I keep my pajamas on all day.
So what does the speaker do every day? He sets the alarm, wakes up at 7 a.m., takes a shower, has breakfast, does his hair and makeup, and gets dressed. And why does he do that? It's because it's helpful for him to pretend like he's going to an office because it helps him get more done. Now, a digital nomad is a person who earns money working online in various locations of their choice rather than in one location. Digital nomads often work from public libraries, co-working spaces, and coffee shops. These are places where they can connect their laptops and smartphones or tablets to the Wi-Fi hubs or use their hotspots. And do you know any digital nomads? And what are the pros and cons of being a digital nomad? And you can answer those questions in the comments. So, a day in the life of a digital nomad. Read about how some digital nomads spend their time and try to determine the meaning of the phrases in bold. I'm a digital marketer. I like to work from coffee shops. I usually start work at 9 a.m. and break up my day into 1 hour chunks. After every hour, I take a 10-minute break for a walk or a chat with someone. In the morning, I get my deep work done. Later in the day, I usually hop on a call with a client, respond to emails, and do tasks that require less focus. So break up your day just means to kind of divide the day into different segments. Deep work is probably the more difficult or challenging or work that requires more concentration. And hop on a call just means to get on the phone, to get on the telephone, to talk. And Hanukkah says, I am a blogger. Working remotely can be hard. Some days I struggle to motivate myself. It's important for me to make a schedule so that I can stay on track. Stay on track just means keep to a schedule, be able to meet your deadlines, that kind of thing. All right, so now pretend that you had the opportunity to be a digital nomad. If you were a digital nomad, where would you work from? How would you break up your day? When would you do your deep work? How would you stay on track? How often would you travel to a new location? And where would you go? And you can answer those questions in the comments. And that brings us to the end of today's video. Please like, subscribe, share, participate in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.